Hi you guys, we're gonna paint this cute little picture of forest creatures, and you're gonna need all your paints and brushes, and you're gonna need a pencil and a hair dryer. But that should be it. There's no tracer for this one because I am gonna show you how to draw it. And we're gonna start with the tree in the middle. So I'm first just gonna draw the trunk of the tree from top to bottom, a nice rectangle. It doesn't need to be perfect because trees aren't perfect, right? And then I'm gonna add a few branches. So over to the side, I'm just gonna draw a line up, and then you're gonna go back towards the tree trunk and see how I made it come to a point. And you can add a few branches. And then this third branch I add, I want it to be very horizontal. You want it to go to the side so that your owl can sit up there. And then kind of come back to the tree trunk, and you can erase that line there. And your branches can look different than mine. They don't have to be the same. And now I'm gonna put one over to the side over here. Super easy. Let's see. I'm gonna draw in the tree this little bird, and it's kind of sitting on the circle. So first draw that circle, and then for the bird's head, another circle, and the body, man, I don't know what shape that is to tell you, but it's kind of like a bean. And then once you have the bean, you're gonna give the bird two wings. One kind of goes back. Well, they both kind of go back. You can give him a beak and a tail. And when we color all this in, or paint it in, it's gonna look more like a bird. And he's kind of sitting right in front of that opening in the tree. There's that one again. Let's paint this owl while we're doing the tree. Or I'm sorry, let's draw the owl. And if I'm going too fast for you guys, just pause the video. You don't need to keep up with me or anything. For the owl, we're gonna make up here in the air. See how I made like a little smiley face almost? You're gonna do that. And then I'm gonna connect those two ends with a bigger smiley face shape, or like a U. And don't worry about like the feet or the face right now. And then once you have that body, you just have to add some wings. So off to the side, you just draw a line down, and I kind of made 3 little zigzags for the feathers, I guess. And do you see how I put it right on top of the tree branch? That's perfect because you don't want them floating in the air. So just like this one, he's going to be standing right on the branch. So when I put my feet in later, he'll be standing on the branch. All right, let's do the porcupine next. The porcupine's kind of a funky shape. So he's poking his head out behind the tree. And we're gonna do this circular shape first. It's kind of like the shape of a peanut. So I start behind the tree, come out, and I'm gonna make my best peanut shape. And then inside, we're gonna do the same thing up here for his head that we did with the owl. And then kind of go down, so now he's got ears. And then the rest, I'm just gonna kind of go around and make that same peanut shape. And don't worry about like the spikes or the face right now. We'll do those with the paint. All right, so peanut shape inside with some ears. And then we're gonna paint we're gonna draw the bear right now. I'm gonna start the bear somewhere over here with a circle for his head. And give him some ears. And I'm also gonna draw like a teardrop shape in the middle for his nose. Can you guys see that? Then for his body, I'm gonna draw two kind of curvy lines going all the way to the bottom of the canvas. You can erase the tree. So now it looks like he's standing in front of the tree. And we're gonna give him a circle for his belly. And for his arms, I'm gonna start down here and just give him like hands and draw a line up for arms. And then he just needs a scarf for now. I'm just gonna draw a line across here and then give him like a little rectangle hanging down. And you can erase those lines inside if you want. But for now, that is all you needed to draw. Alright, we're gonna paint the tree first with white. And I'm using my medium brush. And I know it seems weird to paint the tree white. But it looks a lot better. And I also like starting with white and kind of getting darker with the colors as you go. So the last thing we do is use black paint. And the first thing we do is use white. And the white's kind of nice because if you go on top of this bird we drew, it's okay. You can still see the pencil marks. But you want to spread your paint out. You don't need big globs on there. And you want to try to stay in the lines as best you can. And you can't see it too well just because the canvas is white, but do your best. And then once that's white, I'm just wiping off my brush, and I'm going to use the same brush for the background with the blue color. And actually, you know what? I'm going to use my small brush with the blue. I'm going to go around and outline everything. I like to turn my canvas a lot, just so that you have a different angle. So if you need to do that, go ahead. But all I'm doing is kind of going around all my pencil markings so that when I paint the background blue, I don't want to get anything, I don't want to get any blue in there. And these smaller areas are a little too small to use the medium brush, so this brush works better. And it's okay if the white paint isn't totally dry. I spread mine out really thin, so it's not really a problem. Plus it's white, so if it mixes with the blue, no big deal. So go nice and slow. remember not to go inside any of these things. Just paint the outside. Okay. Now I'm going to take my medium brush and fill in all those spots. And I like to start at the top, and I like to go back and forth as much as I can. It just kind of portrays the sky better and it makes it neater. But with this one, there's really not a lot of space to go back and forth, so it's okay if you don't. And you know what? I'm going to end up doing 2 coats of this background, so you won't really see those brush strokes anyways. But just be really careful around those edges you worked really hard on so that you don't get any blue inside. Make sure you smooth all the paint out. You don't need a ton. You want to spread it out. I kind of cut off the owl's wing there, but it's okay. We're going to paint over that later anyway, so no big deal. Yeah, I ended up going up and down this whole time, didn't I? That's okay. Alright, so once the background's done, I am going to do 2 coats, but it needs to be dry first, so I'm going to use my hair dryer. Okay. And I'm not going to outline everything again, just because I think the outline I have is nice, and I'm going to be able to go around everything nice without worrying about going inside. I'm just going to take my time. And if you do get paint inside something, it's really okay, because we're like right there, I got some blue, no big deal. Because we are going to go over everything, right? But take your time, no rush. I like painting the background the best. Alright, I'm almost done with the background. Remember to spread all the paint out. You don't want big clumps or anything. And then dry it off. I'm gonna wash off my little brush. So rinse it in some water, wipe it on a paper towel, and I'm gonna paint that bird yellow first. And I kind of hate when you can see the pencil lines. So I might outline it in black later on when we get the black paint out. But for now, you're just filling in those lines you already drew. And we're gonna wait for the beak until we get orange out. So that was easy. Next, I'm gonna do the purple owl with the same brush. So I wash my brush off in the water bin, wipe it on a paper towel, and then go for the purple. And again, we're just filling in this whole shape for the owl right now. We'll go back and add some details later. And that might need a second coat later. But for now, I'm just going to put that brush in the water. And I'm going to take that medium paintbrush to do, we're going to do the brown spots. So we'll start with these lighter brown spots. So I'm going to do the bear's belly. Now that you drew the picture, this part's easy because it's just like a coloring book. You just fill everything in. You just have to make sure you go nice and slow. Take your time. And try to stay in the lines as best you can. And I'm gonna dry this stuff and do a second coat. So same brush, same colors, just go over everything again so it looks a little thicker. It does look better, but I might do a third coat. It's still a little streaky. But first, let me do the purple owl. One more coat of brown, or light brown. That looks much better. Okay, that looks better. I'm going to rinse my brush off, and I'm going to use that same brush for the dark brown spots. I try to make the shape with the paint of those arms, just because I think it's easier later on. But if you don't do that, it's really okay. And if you need the little brush at any point to kind of go around some of these shapes, then go ahead, just make sure it's clean. Because again, I am a little faster than you guys probably. So pause the video if I'm too fast for you. Around the ears, I'm using my little brush. And I'm going to end up drying that and doing a second coat. It looks a lot better with a second coat, doesn't it? All right. We're gonna dry this. Oh wait, actually, I'm gonna do another coat on his ears. And then we're gonna dry it and add some details. And we're gonna use that little paintbrush. So dry off your picture. I'm gonna rinse off my little brush and we're gonna do some orange stuff. All right, so we've got a beak on the owl, and a scarf. Let's do this beak on your bird first. Fill that in with orange. And then on the owl, right in the middle, I'm gonna give him an orange triangle for a beak. And I'm gonna do little feet. And mine the branch got lost, but I'll go back with white in a little bit. But anyway, for those feet, I just made two like little lines. It kind of looks like an arrow. And this is just a triangle shape. And then I'm going to fill in the scarf with orange on the bear. Clean that off. I'm going to use white for a second. I'm going to put 2 circles on the owl for eyes. And then I'm going to make my branch a little bit bigger so that it looks like the owl's actually sitting on the branch. Okay. One last thing before the black. We're going to add some leaves in the background. So let's clean off that brush. And with the green paint, it doesn't matter where you put the leaves or how many, but I like to start with a curved line. And that's the middle of the leaf. That's just how I like to draw a leaf. You start with the middle line and then you kind of go around and make a teardrop shape, and it comes to a point. And then I'm going to fill the whole thing in with green. And I think it looks better when it's a curved line because it kind of looks like the leaves are falling or floating down. But yours can look different than mine. It doesn't have to be the same. We'll do 3 on this side. Kind of messed up my line. That's okay. That's better. Then I'm going to do a few more leaves on this side. So you don't really need that middle line that you drew. I just think it helps make the shape of the leaf. All right, let's clean that brush off. And we're gonna do some details with black while those dry. Let's do the animals. Let's do, well, we're gonna turn the little paintbrush over and I'm gonna dunk it in the black paint. And I'm going to do a little eye for the bird and then 2 eyes for the owl. But it makes a nice perfect circle. I'm actually going to do that again for the bear's eyes. So you just turn the brush over, dunk it in the black, and dot. Then I'm going to turn my brush over, use the normal side. I'm going to add a little nose for the bear. If your brush is, if the bristles are ever coming apart, all you have to do is add a little bit of water on your tray. So I took a little bit of water and put it on my tray and mixed it with the black, and it helps. The water helps the bristles stay together. But you don't need a lot of water or that kind of ruins it. So be careful. All right, so for the rest of the bear, I'm gonna kind of go around his hands and arms a little bit, like a little outline, and then give him 3 lines for claws. And I'm gonna give his scarf some stripes. Then I'm gonna do you guys see the porcupine? I have his eyes closed, so I just made those 2 little rainbow shapes. A circle for a nose. And then his mouth, I kind of just drew a line down and then did like an arrow shape. And the porcupine needs his spikes. So all around the outside, I just drew some dashed lines, different spots, all around his body. That part's super easy, right? All right, a few more things with the black. I'm gonna outline that bird and fill in this little hole too in the tree. Oh, too much paint on there. And I'm just outlining because I don't like seeing the pencil marks. And you can see through it with the yellow. But if you don't mind, it's okay. All right, we're gonna add these lines to the birch tree. This is pretty simple too, so I'm just gonna make these dashed lines. They're different sizes. They're kind of spread out. But you don't want them to all be the same. Some are longer than others, some are more spaced out than others. You can do some on the branches, but they're just nice little quick dashed lines. And they're kind of on both sides of the tree. And on the branch, they're getting smaller because you don't have a lot of room on there, right? You don't need a ton of paint on your brush. I think I got it all. All right, there's one last thing I want to do. I'm just going to add some lines inside my leaves to make them look more like leaves. I like to draw a line, a curved line down the middle, and then add some, I think they're called veins, off of it. And then if there's anything you see that you want to touch up, go ahead and do that. Like I'm going to put some white over here because some blue got on my tree. But other than that, I think it's good. If you want to dry your picture off again, you can. You can wash your brushes. You can use your extra paint. But that's it. If you guys want to send me pictures of what yours looked like, that would be awesome. And thanks for painting with me.